guys.
Hey guys, Vicky
Mitch and
and
Mitch
Mitch and Mitch here. All right, guys, we are jumping in with our tips on how to stay motivated through winter, through different seasons, any seasons really. So we're going to start off with 3 tips and actionable steps that you're going to be able to take to be able to move the needle forward to your best self and your best winter, your best seasonal, healthier self.
Yeah, totally. I think it's important to firstly understand that the motivation myth is exactly that. It is a myth.
This is number one.
This is number one. So, guys, I am not Superman and this is not Superwoman, but we do have a superpower. And that superpower is ensuring that our environment is set up for our ultimate success. So basically, Vicky and myself are no more motivated than anybody else in the world. We have high stressful lives. We have a family. We have a business. There's lots on our plate. But our motivation doesn't waver. And the reason that is we rely heavily on our disciplines, not motivation. So when we talk about motivation is like bathing, like you need it every day, right? Or it's encouraged to have every day. Whereas discipline is part of your identity, right? So we look at, for me personally, in how I've set up my environment for my everyday success is I have a rule. It's a mental rule. My alarm goes off. I have 3 seconds to get my bum out of bed. That's step 1. Step 2 is all my gym gear's already set up in the bathroom, ready for me to just jump straight into it. So that's another one. Step 3 is I already have a plan in place for what I'm going to do when I get to the gym. So a lot of the time, the hardest part for me is the trip from my house to the car. And once I'm in the car, it's Bob your uncle, we're away and we're going. When it comes to nutrition, we just don't buy the stuff that is not in alignment to our health and fitness goals, which means there's no temptation there after a shitty day at work or, a bit more external pressures we have. So they're a couple of key things is create a routine around training. So I know Vicky's schedule. I know when she's going to train. She knows mine and we're supportive of that because obviously, a supportive partner is really important. We set up our environment for our success in terms of what we bring into the household. And we always make sure that we keep each other accountable is the third thing there.
Yeah, I think environment's huge, right? So I think the second one to look at is our values and what we can only be motivated by external motivation for a period of time, right? Because those external things are going to change. Let's just say that it's to fit into a certain dress or pants in a specific amount of time for a wedding or a birthday, a milestone, whatever it is. Once that happens, then what? Okay, and this is where we see a lot of the undoing happen is we've been so focused on this external motivation, this external outcome that once we get there, we're like, well, what next? Okay, Mitch and I have been actually talking extensively about what next goals, right? We've been training consistently for 15 years and it's have we always had a what next goal? And the answer is no, we haven't.
Last time I had a direct goal that this year, probably the first time I've had I've had 3 strong intentions that I've been working towards, albeit inconsistent through some injuries, but nonetheless I'm still working towards them. But the reason why we do what we do on a very consistent basis is we've learned to love the process. And we've fallen in love with the act of doing rather than, what we get out of it in terms of physical alterations or
yeah, I think that just becomes a byproduct when it becomes a part of your value system. So, for me, one of my highest values is my health. And why that is because our health is literally everything. Our health is our wealth, right? We hear it all the time. We literally do not have anything if we don't have our health. So this is the vehicle of life.
Well, they say this, they reference a man, I think, I could butcher the quote, but it's the sick man only has one wish, and that's the wish of health.
Yeah. And whilst I'm granted a healthy body, I'm going to make sure that I'm able to keep it in its prime state, and I know when I have a healthy body, a strong body, an energized body, a physically healthy body, I have a physically healthy mind as well, mind and body interconnected, they're both connected. And that means how I show up in my day-to-day is so different, right? How I show up as a mum, how I show up as a leader, how I show up for my clients, it all is interconnected. And it starts with me, first and foremost, looking after my own health and how I feel in my body. So I loved a lot of the answers when I asked this in the group this week. And so many of you said it's like the feeling that you have when you finish your session. And I know that we don't always think about that before we go to train, right? We don't think, oh, like,
How good I'm
how good. So and something that I really suggest you all do is bottle that feeling up when you finish a training session. Like, feel that feeling and be like, oh my goodness, this is how good. I literally take a moment to thank myself for giving myself that time and space, but also just bottle a feeling up of how strong, how powerful, how energized you feel after your session. And the more you can pull on that and that feeling, you'll more likely, it will become easier and easier for you to get into the gym. So you'll close that gap between the thought of going to the gym to actually taking the actionable steps to go to the gym. Okay.
And then I think like it's coming back to the James Clear method of goal setting is like understanding there's 3 layers to goal setting. You've got the goal itself. And I think it's important to understand that you look at the gold medalists, right? Everyone has the goal of winning gold in the Olympics, but only one person ever does. And the deciding factor behind who wins is the systems they follow to get to that outcome. So when it comes back to goal setting, like we all have the goal of losing weight, sure, and keeping it off, fantastic. But it's like what systems, what processes, and who are you becoming in the process? So it's coming back to understanding like you've got obviously your goal, and then you have the process involved with that goal, and then you've got the identity change, who you get to become in the process of achieving that goal. And that's something that we've also spoken in great detail about recently is like, what is the actual definition of your success? And like something that I've been sharing with Vic lately is like my definition of success is who I become in the process of. And it's like, what character traits am I building? Who am I becoming? Who am I turning up as a leader, as a husband, as a father on the journey of trying to achieve the things that I want out of my life?
Who is that?
It's a surprise.
It's a surprise. Wow. But yeah, I love that. And I think one of the first questions that I love to ask my clients is this, as I go, okay, well, what's your goal? Yep, let's just say it's to lose 5 kilos. Perfect. And I say, what's the feeling that you're like underneath that goal? There's a feeling you're actually looking for. You're not actually looking to be 5 kilos lighter, right? You're looking for the feeling that you're getting by becoming 5 kilos lighter, right? Because that's what matters the most, right?
It's an unquantifiable metric. Like people pick 5 kilos because it's a very defined, quantifiable metric. Is like I'm either 5 kilos heavier, I'm 5 kilos lighter. But the unquantifiable data is probably the stuff that matters more importantly. Is like how much energy you have. You know, how are you managing your stress? How are you turning up as a husband, as a wife, as a mother, as a father? Do you get out of bed with energy? Do you get out of bed with aches and pains? Like these are unquantifiable metrics that will obviously show you how successful you are in the journey.
Yeah, I love that. And also just looking at the feeling state is like, okay, well, I know I want to feel X by, I want to lose 5 kilos, but that's going to make me feel happier. It's like, how can we bring that happiness into your everyday and start becoming the person you actually want to be? Like this comes to what Mitch was talking about. Identity shift is absolutely everything from this. If you feel the pull right now to just stop exercising, stop doing all the things that are moving you closer towards or even keeping your current state of health, which is way better state of health than if you were to stop, right? But if you feel this pull to like draw back and like stop moving your body as regularly, et cetera, and eat, all of that stuff, I would challenge you to say, is this just your old identity creeping back in? Because to make a shift, a permanent shift, like a lifelong shift in your health, in your physical body and mind, you need to have a new identity, right? You can't keep being that same person that thinks the same way and expect a different result. You're going to have the identity of the person you are becoming. So think about who is that person you are becoming? Who is that person you're aspiring to be? And start living like them today. Like start actually bringing that forward. What are they doing? This comes to the processes. What are they doing every single day? They have daily habits. They have daily processes they're doing in order to continue a healthy, happy, strong, physical body and life, right? So the last thing that I wanted to touch on was the fact that our bodies were made to move, okay? I notice quite naturally, I'm very seasonal, so I actually love to go with the seasons of life. I think they're here for a purpose. And, you know, I think sometimes we can get caught up thinking that winter's all about like just snuggling under the blanket and being next to a hot fireplace, which I also love. I love, and yes, but our bodies were also always made to move, okay?
Think about the cavemen, right? Go back to the Paleolithic eras. If you didn't move, you didn't eat. So, like, our bodies are always designed to move, and movement is a source of energy. It's a source of life. And I think it's important to stay consistent and keep your bodies moving 30 minutes a day, regardless of what season we're in. It's going to spread oxygen. It's going to spread nutrients. It's going to,
Brain,
you know, release
good endorphins.
good endorphins to help you function better, feel better, and ultimately look better, which is obviously the byproduct of both those things.
Yeah. And if you were just to spend, let's just say, the winter period of hibernating, we're not hibernating creatures, but if we were to spend that time hibernating, then you can imagine how much more challenging it's going to be to come out of that hibernation. And so this is why having even just that one habit of moving your body every day for 30 minutes should be one of your non-negotiables. And it's one of my non-negotiables. You know, how that movement looks different every day, but it is an absolute non-negotiable. And trust me, I'm just like everyone else. There is times where I do not feel like doing it, but again, I've closed that gap to me going, oh, I don't really feel like this, to just taking the action and doing it by having the discipline already ingrained, and it's been a process, right? A journey of ingraining that as part of who I am. So it's like, yeah, Vicky just does that. That's just a non-negotiable of hers. Even when she might whinge about it, she still goes out and does it. And you too, yeah? So, guys, what we wanted to help you guys with, and a way to
Bring
this all together is we want to bring to you our breakout week. Now, rather than a breakout week, we're going to make it a breakout fortnight, 2 weeks, 2.0 maybe.
You know, who does the status quo, right? So this is the Much Life program we ran a couple of years back. It's coming back. It's making a return in 2024, but with a little bit of a spin. So obviously, we know the importance of daily movement. So this breakout week, the goal across the 14 days is to express movement in your body for a minimum of 30 minutes every day. This is going to be a free challenge for the community that we're going to run to help inspire some movement across the 14 days, kicking off on the 24th of June. So in, I think it's like 9 days time.
And this movement can look like absolutely anything. We're going to have a accountability where you post it into the group, so we know. We'll have a movement challenge group so that we know, who's doing what and who's done what. And then over the next 14 days, if you're able to move your body 30 minutes, again, this could be yoga, this could be stretching, this could be a walk, this could be coming to the gym, doing a sweat class, doing a strong human, doing a strength connection, a PT class, whatever it is, you're moving your body a minimum of 30 minutes per day as a non-negotiable for 14 days. And every time you do that, you will get
a sticker.
a sticker, and you'll go into the draw to win one of 3 wellness experiences. So it's very, very encouraging. Now, we will make it that if you at least move, because obviously you've got to...
10 times.
Yeah, 10 times for that 14 days, you are going to go into the draw. But if you hit all 14 days, you're going to get a double entry into it. Okay, guys? This is
double the chance of winning.
100%. And most importantly, the accountability around it. So,
but most importantly, above all of that, is you moving your body every day to feel better, function better, and look better, even in the heart of winter. And that's the cool part.
It always makes you warmer.
Movement.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you're building. You're
resilience.
committing to yourself.
Yeah.
And that's the most important part.
Awesome, guys. So drop in the comments a fire emoji with a cold emoji to say that you are in for our 14-day challenge. If you are listening to this on the newsletter, then please jump into our Facebook group and jump into this. I'm going to put the link for the Facebook group up here so you can jump straight in. If you are in and this is a hell yes, we are going to be starting in 10 days time. So not next week, but the week after.
Monday week. Let's go.
Have an awesome weekend. Bye, guys.